Trust your gut. I have a gut feeling. Have you got the guts? We use these phrases to describe physical and emotional conditions derived from the gut. There's a reason for that. Your gut is considered your body's second brain, and most serotonin and several other neurotransmitters are produced in the gut. The connection between the gut and the brain is undeniable. The intestines are the root of all inflammation and autoimmunity, and the gut is your immune system's first defense. When you eat a meal and experience fatigue, pain, bloating, and discomfort, pat that food baby and know that we can address it, heal it, and eliminate it. Healing the gut can be time consuming, but is essential to your overall well being. From tongue to tail, your digestive system is full of enzyme producing cells that break down food and synthesize the nutrients in your food. Stomach acid creates a pH inhospitable to harmful organisms. Your intestinal microbiome, microorganisms in your gut, weighs about 2 pounds, the size of your brain. These organisms profoundly influence nutrient absorption. Detoxification and the health of your gut lining contributes to your mood, your appetite, your food cravings, and your mental function. When your biome is out of balance, you may experience inflammation, including a round, tender belly, heartburn and gas pains, neuro or brain inflammation, obesity, diabetes, hormonal imbalances, anxiety, depression, and brain fog. Your digestive tract is about 30 feet long from mouth to anus, and if unfolded, the intestinal lining would cover 2 tennis courts. It's full of trillions of bacteria and organisms designed to coexist in harmony without triggering an immune response. The gut lining is layered. The first layer is a physical barrier with protective mucus to prevent inflammation and nutrients that feed your microbiome. You will also find villi, finger like projections in the small intestine, the nutrient absorption warehouse. In celiac disease, these villi are destroyed. The next layer is lymphatic tissue, which comprises about 70% of the body's immune system. This tissue communicates with your immune and nervous systems, so by its nature, it makes sense that inflammation in the intestinal lining can affect your immune system and your mood as a whole. The various layers work together to selectively allow nutrients into the bloodstream while blocking harmful fragments and other particles from escaping into the bloodstream. When this damage occurs, the boundary is compromised. The intestinal lining becomes more open to the crossing of food particles, harmful bacteria, yeasts, and toxins from the microbiome that should never leave the safety of the gut. Technically, this is called intestinal hypermobility, but more often it's referred to as leaky gut. Leaky gut occurs when there is damage to the intestinal lining due to stress, food sensitivities, antibiotics, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, aspirin, and Aleve, environmental toxins, and nutritional deficiencies, especially zinc and vitamins A and D. These junk particles leave the safety of the gut lining and enter the immune system rich layer of your intestinal lining, triggering immune reactions there and even more within your bloodstream. When these bacterial fragments, bits of waste and food products, migrate out of the gut lining, your immune system recognizes them as foreign objects, just as it would any other infection or foreign particle, and it mounts an attack. Immune cells are what is responsible for inflammation. When the target is widespread, the inflammation goes rampant and then becomes chronic. A leaky gut is a widely established cause of chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, weight gain, and obesity. Autoimmunity and leaky gut go hand in hand. Not everyone who has a leaky gut has autoimmune conditions yet, but pretty much everyone who has autoimmune disorders has a leaky gut. Without healing the gut lining, we cannot fully address the chronic underlying inflammation responsible for the obvious symptoms like diarrhea, constipation, bloating, and gas. Leaky gut also wreaks havoc elsewhere in the form of fatigue, food intolerance, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, which can be both a cause and a result of leaky gut, Hashimoto's disease, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, allergies, hives, eczema, psoriasis, arthritis, joint aches and pains, and obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and non-alcoholic liver disease. Reversing the leaky gut is a priority for each of us. It can calm your immune system, get you out of overwhelming stages, and sometimes even reverse autoimmune disease. It truly is a key to unlocking your health. Dysbiosis is the technical term for your microbiome is messed up. You can experience an overgrowth of unfriendly organisms like yeast or parasites, a loss of helpful bacteria, an overgrowth of harmful bacteria, or a combination of any of these. When your body experiences dysbiosis, you experience unpleasant symptoms like diarrhea and or constipation, gas, nausea, decreased appetite, flatulence and belching, an unpleasant taste in your mouth, and abdominal pain. You may also experience dysbiosis as skin rashes, frequent vaginal yeast infections, oral thrush, and frequent bacterial vaginosis infections. So, what creates dysbiosis? Stress changes the microbiome and limits the blood flow to the gut, which diminishes overall lining health, thereby influencing the type and quantity of flora or microorganisms that you grow. You decrease the acid in your stomach, which protects against bacterial overgrowth and damages the gut lining. Deficiencies of gut protective nutrients, especially vitamins A and D, can weaken the gut lining. A diet high in refined sugars, bad carbs, and low in fiber, low in fresh fruits and veggies, and lacking fermented foods can also contribute. Eating primarily processed foods for just 14 days can reduce your microbiome diversity by 40%. Research has linked food additives to autoimmunity, which is no surprise. They've been found to damage the gut lining, contributing to leaky gut and further inflammatory response in the gut lining. While you will never hear me say that medications are unnecessary, I agree with the concern that 70% of antibiotics prescribed are not necessary. 80% of the antibiotics produced in the US end up in our meat supply. We are exposed to antibiotics when we don't need them, and they create inflammation in our gut. Some specific categories of medications are the most responsible for damage to the gut. Antibiotics are the primary cause. Just one dose of antibiotics can dramatically alter the gut flora, and multiple courses can completely wipe out colonies of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, which are the bacteria responsible for about 90% of your metabolic activity, hormone synthesis, nutrient absorption, and protection against leaky gut. You see this happen when you have an antibiotic and end up with a yeast infection. What's happened is that all the good bacteria have been killed by the antibiotic, allowing the bad actors to overgrow and cause symptoms. Another category is proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, including Prilosec or omeprazole. NSAIDs like ibuprofen, Advil, Motrin, and naproxen, Aleve, aspirin, and Tylenol, acetaminophen, can cause damage to the delicate lining of the stomach, causing GI bleeds, the number one cause of anemia. They can disrupt the absorption of nutrients that your body requires. And some of you may think, I don't have stomach troubles. What does this matter to me? Well, a lot actually. The gut absorbs nutrients, extracts calories, and communicates with our brain about what is going on in the gut by producing neurotransmitters and chemical messengers. An imbalance in the gut biome can wreak havoc on you elsewhere, can make you fat, cause sugar and carb cravings, cause brain fog, hormonal chaos. Sugar and carb cravings are what blew my mind the most as I was studying. The microbes in your gut drive your cravings for the substances that they need to thrive. Your brain accepts foods as tastier, and these microbes also produce toxins that make us feel unwell and irritable if we don't feed the beast. You may also experience brain fog due to chemicals and gases produced by fermentation in your gut by your microbe and the foods that you eat. Do you know what ferments really well? Sugar. Sugar fermentation is what creates Alcohol. Is it any wonder you feel groggy, drunk, and drugged after a meal high in sugar and fast burning carbs? A disrupted microbiome's effect on hormones, especially estrogen, may be the most emotionally challenging aspect for many women. A healthy biome supports the breakdown and elimination of estrogen from the body. It prevents excess estrogen from recirculating in the intestine. And when the microbiome is out of whack, estrogen can recirculate in a particularly toxic form. This increases the likelihood of a woman becoming estrogen dominant. Too much estrogen is not good and significantly increases a woman's risk of breast, ovarian, and endometrial cancers. Estrogen and cholesterol are chemically related, so obesity, hypercholesterolemia, and changes in the microbiota are likely linked to higher incidences of breast cancer. Elevated estrogen can also cause an increase in sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG, on your lab reports, which binds many hormones, making them unavailable. Unfortunately, SHBG also binds to thyroid hormone, making it unavailable too, so your thyroid function is diminished. And if that's not enough, elevated estrogen is also a risk factor for weight gain. Hello, muffin top. And blocks progesterone, which causes sleep problems and mood swings. In addition, when estrogen and progesterone are imbalanced, you are more prone to heavy periods, lumpy, painful breasts, fertility impairment, and frequent miscarriages. Hormone imbalances can be truly devastating in a woman's life. Yeast, often in the form of candida, which is actually more like a mold, is commonly found in people with Hashimoto's. It can grow out of hand when the microbiota is out of control. SIBO, SIBO, means small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is exactly as it sounds and is the end result of dysbiosis. Some theories actually believe these two overgrowths are a root cause in and of their own right, as it is thought that the loosening of the intestinal junctions and resultant leaky gut is directly in response to allowing these harmful substances out of the intestine. So, is there any good news? There is. We can reverse leaky gut. Get rid of the bad bugs that cause SIBO and yeast overgrowth. Replace the good ones to heal inflammation. Replace important digestive enzymes and improve your stomach acid if these are low. The 3 steps to healing the gut include removing the triggers and stopping bacterial overgrowth, replacing digestive enzymes and boosting stomach acid, and reinoculating the gut biome with a probiotic containing 10 billion colony-forming units of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. You can buy that over the counter, and it is something you can start right now to begin to take back your wellness. A healthy intestinal lining is renewed every 5 days. By listening to your gut and being very honest with yourself about how even your favorite things genuinely make you feel from head to toe, you will be able to repair leaky gut and actually be the one in control of your life. If you are ready to make the steps necessary to heal your gut, to calm inflammation and restore balance to your hormones, to get the sleep you need, and to take control of the autoimmune diseases that are controlling your life, let's talk today. Let's see what we can do together to begin your health and wellness journey in a way that makes sense to you.